welcome to another episode of Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. Let's get into it. So, a couple of things today. So in Shawn Kemp's rookie year, they were playing the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Okay. And Shawn Kemp tells his story. Shawn Kemp says he only played 15 minutes in that game. Okay. He ended up fouling out of that game in 15 minutes. And Shawn Kemp said he was upset because he thought he was getting some bad calls. And he just needed some way to show out his anger that he was getting bad calls. And so this is what happened next. Okay, here is the Shawn Kemp dunk in 1990, dunking over the reigning NBA champion, Kenny Walker.
People don't realize is I played 15 minutes that night and I fouled out. And I was a little bit upset because I thought I was getting some bad calls. And I just needed some way to show my anger out.
Kemp picks Mark Jackson, gets the give and go. Oh!
It was no way that we thought he could dunk the basketball, but proved us all wrong.
Oh, please, let's see that again. 100 times.
He dunked right over the reigning slam dunk champion, Kenny Walker. Right over Kenny Walker. He jammed right in Kenny Walker's face. And so that was Shawn Kemp's way of showing out his anger that he was getting some bad calls, right? So, speaking of, Well, okay. So, in the 1986 Slam Dunk Contest, it was teammate versus teammate. Spud Webb. We're going head to head in the final round, the championship round. Okay, and so as they were doing dunk after spectacular dunk after spectacular dunk, on Dominque's last dunk of the championship round, they gave Dominque Wilkins 45. They gave Dominque Wilkins 45, and we all saw the dunk that won Spud Webb the contest. Yeah, the judges gave Dominque 45. Okay. So, come 1988 in Chicago. So the question was Dominque Wilkins robbed of the Slam Dunk title in Chicago in 1988? We all know who he was competing against. So was Dominque Wilkins robbed in 1988 Slam Dunk contest? A few of his Hawks teammates believe so. Doc Rivers believes so. Okay. Doc Rivers believes so. Doc Rivers says Dominque Wilkins was robbed. Okay. And so it was All-Star Weekend was in Chicago. Okay. And so every time Jordan did a dunk, if the judges did not give Jordan a 50, they booed. They booed. Yeah. If the judges didn't give Jordan a 50 on one of his dunks, they booed. Okay. So I believe it was Wilkins was leading Jordan by a score of 145 to 97. Okay. Wilkins had a pretty good dunk, and he was leading Jordan 145 to 97. And so Michael did the take off from the foul line dunk, and they gave him a 50. So, and a few teammates believe that Dominque Wilkins was robbed. Give me a minute here. Give me a minute here. Okay, so maybe he was robbed. Okay, maybe Dominque Wilkins was robbed. Okay, but he was playing. But the All-Star weekend was in Chicago. He was playing. He was competing against Chicago's favorite athlete. And if Dominque Wilkins would have won the Slam Dunk Championship in '88, I think the judges would not get out of that stadium alive. If they let Dominque Wilkins win in 1988, the judges, they would not have gotten out of that stadium alive. Because now the Chicago fans would say, Jordan was robbed. Okay? Right? So, I think Dominque Wilkins was probably robbed, but he was competing against Jordan. And so not only did he have to compete against Jordan, he had to compete against the judges, and he had to compete against the Chicago crowd too. So again, maybe he was robbed, but maybe he was robbed, but it's Michael Jordan. And I'll just leave it at that. Okay. So, the Philadelphia 76ers, defending the NBA champions in 1984, swept up the Lakers. Okay? And so, here they are back in the postseason in 1984, and they're facing the New Jersey Nets, who at the time I don't believe made a single playoff appearance since their time in the league. Well, they used to be known as the New York Nets at first. Then they switched it to New Jersey. So they had never even won a playoff game since they joined the NBA. The Nets have. But yet somehow the Nets, they had Otis Birdsong, Buck Williams, Daryl Hawkins, Michael Ray Richardson, Albert King. Okay? And so everybody was picking the Sixers to sweep the Nets. Okay? Yet somehow the New Jersey Nets came out and won the first two games of the head series in Philadelphia. Yet somehow the Nets came out and won the first two games. Moses Malone was injured or hurting, and Dr. J, he began to, people say he was beginning to look his age. Then what do you know? They go back to New Jersey. Philadelphia wins 2 straight there to send the series back to game 5. Back to Philadelphia. And this is something that Julius Erving said after game 4. Julius Erving said, give the Nets credit. They've had success in Philadelphia. That's going to be a motivating factor for them. Then he said, but they're not going to win in Philly. So mail in the stats. That's what Julius Erving said. They're not going to win in Philly. Mail in the stats. Okay? So, the Sixers had a 7-point lead. Okay? Sixers had a 7-point lead. They let it get it away. They turned the ball all over. And there was a tip-in that Albert King had. Albert King of the New Jersey Nets, he had a clutch tip-in. By the way, he was the brother of Bernard King, by the way. Albert King was. Albert King had a clutch tip-in that sent the Sixers home for the summer. And just like that, the Philadelphia Sixers were out. But that was shocking at the time in 1984 that the Sixers lost in the first round. They didn't even win a single home game, right? So, yeah. So, something else about the 1984 playoffs. Well, this is the 1984 finals, actually. So, Lakers come out, they win game 1. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar actually had a migraine, okay, that morning, but still played. Had 32 points. As the Lakers won game 1. And the thing about it was, they had just beaten Phoenix 2 days earlier. So they had to fly straight to Boston after defeating the Suns. And so they only had 1 day off, the Lakers did. So, and the Lakers, they just came in and just ran away from the Celtics in game 1. I mean, it was a close game, but it was pretty much dominated by the Lakers. So they came in, won game 1, and they had game 2. Okay? They had game 2. So Pat Riley says, because Kevin McHale was going to the free throw line. Okay? Kevin McHale was going to the free throw line. Excuse me. A bit tired, but hey. So Kevin McHale is going to the free throw line. And Pat Riley says, if he makes the 2 free throws, call timeout. If he doesn't make the free throws, do not call timeout. Were Pat Riley's instructions, okay? So, Kevin McHale misses the first. He misses the second. They call timeout. You know, thinking about that scenario, that kind of makes me think about when Michael Jordan stole the ball from Karl Malone in the 98 finals, and the Bulls didn't call timeout. So, but yeah. So, the Lakers led by 2, okay? Lakers led by 2. So they're taking the ball out from on the sideline where the Celtics basket is at. Magic throws the ball in. No. I think, well, I can't remember who was inbounding the ball, but the ball went into Magic. I don't know. All I know is the ball went to Worthy, okay? And he threw it right to Gerald Henderson. He threw it right to Gerald Henderson, who laid it in, tied the game, went into overtime. Scott Wedman made the only field goal of overtime, okay? And that basically changed the tenor of the series right there. Although it didn't look like it at the time because of the 137-104 Game 3 victory at the Forum. But we all know that the tone of the series really changed in Game 4 with the hard foul that Kevin McHale gave Kurt Rambis, and that kind of flipped it for their flipped it back in the Celtics' favor. Magic Johnson did something during Game 2 of the '84 finals that the Lakers and probably the Celtics could not believe he did. So Henderson steals the ball, lays it up and in. Game is tied. But the Lakers still have a chance, okay? So the Lakers inbound the ball. Magic has it. It appears he's looking for Kareem. And he just dribbles out the clock. He just dribbles out the clock. He didn't realize how much time was left on the clock. Magic didn't realize it. And I bet that surprised the Lakers. That surprised the Celtics. That probably surprised the Celtic fans. But weird things happen. And after that series, you know what they called him, right? They called Magic Johnson, quote, Tragic Johnson, okay? Yeah, Tragic Johnson, okay? So, yeah, wasn't a good series for Magic. All right, That's it, and that's all. For Throwing It Back with Sean Farrell, I'm out of here. May God bless you all. Peace.